subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah. You've been talking about me for a long time.
So, for a second, think about you when you were 16 years old. And if you are 16, I'm not trying to take anything away. I'm not trying to make you less valid of a person. But if I think back to a time when I was 16, I was an idiot that didn't know anything about anything. At least, I was an idiot that didn't know anything about who I would become. Took a certain amount of growing up. To form some ideas. And, well, I mean, I guess you can pull the lever at age 18 to vote. Again, 18-year-old me didn't know anything about anything. And 18-year-old me didn't vote for that reason. I was like, oh, gosh, I don't want to be someone's puppet, but I don't know anything about the issues. I don't really care about the issues. I'm 18, and neither one of these chuckleheads that I just watched on TV speak to me, so I'm not going to be voting in this particular instance. But... well, I don't know. You tell me how you feel about this one. You can tweet me at ADSXE. You can tweet super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser at FunkFM. But I find this to be one of the dumbest ideas you're going to hear in a very, very long time. A town in Vermont wants to lower the voting age to 16. Voters in Brattleboro, Vermont, going to be asked to lower the voting age for local elections to age 16.
Local elections
Vermont's,
for like Idol, American Idol, TV shows?
No, politics.
Oh.
Local government. Oh. Vermont's current voting age of 18, not going to be altering for the state and federal elections. So it's just for local elections. The folks over at Christian Science Monitor, oh, that bastion of truth. Christian Science Monitor's Lisa Suhey, I think, is her name. She wrote about the move, saying it could place the town on the cutting edge in a world where teenage political maturity may be vastly increasing thanks to online social interaction. Yeah, I don't know. I think saying that teenage political maturity is increasing thanks to online social interaction, no. There's a much greater degree, I think, of... wanting to shoot your mouth off about politics. Doesn't mean people know anything about it. Just because you got taken in by a meme from some right or left wing Facebook page doesn't mean you know anything about anything. Let's just review Christian Science, the Christian Science Monitor's take on the situation again. They said, and I quote, "This could place the town on the cutting edge in a world where teenage political maturity may be vastly increasing thanks to online social interaction." Might be the single stupidest statement you've read from a media outlet this year. Thank you, Christian Science Monitor. Basically what they're saying, pandering to the youth on social media by politicians has actually pushed political discourse to the lowest, and I mean lowest common denominator. Not only is political discourse reaching 14 to 16-year-olds who now all of a sudden have opinions about this sort of thing, but it is also reducing adult voters that at one point operated from a position of common sense and following what was in their own hearts and minds to an easily pandered to mental 16-year-old. Social media being involved in politics has made the American voter stupider. So, I could understand if the logic was, well, hey, we used to be a nation of intelligent folks, but now we all think with a lame brain millennial attitude when it comes to politics. So if the people voting are as stupid as 16-year-olds, why not let the 16-year-olds vote? That piece of logic makes more sense. But this, would you have ever believed that the president would sit down for an interview whose woman, who an interview with a woman whose shtick is sitting in a bathtub of cereal? That happened, but whatever. 16-year-olds shouldn't be allowed to vote. They shouldn't. If you can't have sex, you can't vote. It's so freaking stupid, too. I really fail to understand the logic behind the various ages at which you can do different things and where it becomes legal and illegal. I saw Jim Jeffries a couple nights ago, and he made a very good point. You only have to be 18 to have sex and star in porn, but you have to be 21 to have a drink. If 8 dudes just ran a train on you and you're an 18-year-old, well, there's not a person on this planet who needs a drink more than you do. And to deny that to you is just about a crime. All right, then. Hey, Bruce Jenner's going to keep his penis for now. Bruce Jenner might not be ready to take his femininity all the way. Folks over at In Touch magazine say he already did his interview with Diane Sawyer, and he told her that he's keeping his male equipment for now. I could see wanting to hold on to his penis. He just got divorced. He just got it back from Kris Jenner. Why would he want to get rid of it all of a sudden? So he's going to keep his junk, but he's going to be living his life as a woman. And he says his breasts have already grown to a B cup, and he's not stopping there. Sources say, quote, he desperately wants to go bigger and plans to get actual implants soon. Also, this is the very interesting part to me for people that go through sex changes, transgendered folks. He's still into women. It's just sex isn't important to him. I don't know him directly, but I know a friend of a friend who went through a very similar situation. The man transitioned after having been married to a woman for years and years and years. The man transitioned to a female. And he's still attracted to women. I don't know if he had the surgery to remove his manly apparatus south of the equator. But it's very, very interesting. And all the external factors of what you got going on south of the equator and how big your cans are now that you're taking hormones or what have you, all the external factors, it really leads me to, look, I mean, obviously, you talk about transgendered and a bazillion jokes spring to mind because being transgendered involves genitalia and genitalia is funny. It's not a slight on the transgendered community. It just immediately makes you think of hoo-hoos and ha-has. And in that particular instance, well, that's just the jumping off point for a lot of really, 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 really great jokes. But what it seems more and more, as more of this is coming to light, is to those that would start living life as a sex that they were not born or not equipped with south of the equator. It really does seem to indicate that it's more in the mind than anything else. It's more to do with what's in your mind than what you're packing. And it's very, very interesting. And a lot of people are quick to judge and a lot of people are quick to dismiss. And look, transgender, that's an enormously small minority of the population. So it's understandable that it's not understood. But I think it will be interesting, fascinating, if you will, to find out a little bit more about people that want to start living lives as something that they were not born. I don't know. Maybe Bruce Jenner will blaze a bit of a trail in that respect. You have your own personal stuff that you're dealing with when you make a decision like that. So, like, being a figurehead for any particular movement is a little weird. You know, it's not really high on your list of stuff that you got to take care of. You're more interested in taking care of what's going on in your mind and what's going on with your body. And, like, standing on a soapbox is not really a priority. But Bruce Jenner seems to be putting himself in a position where he's going to be standing on a soapbox. And you never know. We might learn from him a great deal about that which we don't understand. I think that's always a good thing. What I don't understand is why I'm toiling away every single freaking day, wasting my time on a job where I can't watch porn with impunity. Because apparently you can do it. And, well, it's a line of work where people are pretty loose with the cash. There's lots of perks. Top-level EPA employee caught watching porn 2 to 6 hours a day on the job since 2010, had 7,000 files on his computer and was caught watching porn at work, but he hasn't been fired by the EPA. Why? Civil Servant Protection System. Yep. Civil Servant Protection System, which means you can watch 2 to 6 hours of porn a day whilst on the job, have 7,000 files of pornography on your work computer, and you can't be fired thanks to the Civil Servant Protection System. Sounds like a pretty good gig to me. At a congressional hearing, EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy was asked why she hadn't fired him yet and said, "I actually have to work through the administrative process, as you know." This guy was caught a long time ago. The administrative process is meant to prevent against politically motivated firings, and it's a civil servant protection system. Basically, the rules of this give employees the right to appeal a termination, which can take up to 2 years. Yeah. You get fired on your job, boom, you're gone. You get fired on your government job, you can collect a paycheck for the next 2 years. You might know that you're getting fired, but you know you're getting paid. And you can slack off as much as you want, and you can set up your next career as much as you want, and you can roll with it for 2 years of taxpayer-funded salary. Essentially, this makes it nearly impossible to fire incompetent or problematic employees, even if they've committed egregious violations of conduct. Folks over at CBS News have said that of cases under review, an appeals board for federal workers found other instances of employees who had committed seemingly fireable offenses. They were later reinstated to their jobs, often with back pay. And interest. Yeah. So watch porn at work, get suspended, get your job back, get back pay, get interest on top of that. Meanwhile, all you're doing was sitting at home and fapping it to porn, collecting paychecks. Not a bad gig. 5 years ago, the General Services Administration spent more than $800,000 on this super lavish conference in Vegas. They were served 1,000 sushi rolls at $7 a pop. They employed a clown and a mind reader. 2 managers initially fired for this egregious waste of taxpayer dollars to the tune of $800,000 for a conference in Vegas with clowns and mind readers. 2 managers were initially fired over this, but they got their jobs back. At a congressional hearing in 2012, Chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, Jason Chaffetz, asked the GSA Chief of Staff, Mike Robertson, what it takes to be fired from the GSA. Quote, "There's a long-standing due process that career employees are entitled to as part of their employment. We have begun that process, among other disciplinary actions, for several individuals that were involved in the planning and execution of this conference." Now, the hearings found that a conference with this level of Sodom and Gomorrah style extravagance had no place in government. But for whatever the hell reason, they got to keep their jobs. If it feels like you're a sucker for not being in that line of work, you're going to feel like even more of a sucker when you remember that your taxes pay these people's salaries. Have a good one.